Welcome back to the Hidden Valley Railway. Today we're going to talk about how I operate my interchange trains. We imagine that our little railroad connects up with CSX, and therefore all my interchange trains are powered by CSX, and I happen to have scored a deal on some old lifelike CSX GP38s, and that's what power our interchange trains. A lot of people without the available space that I have simply use a siding as an interchange yard, and they just take their cars off and on the track. I really hate moving cars off and on track. Therefore, I found enough room to have a staging yard, and my interchange trains always stay in play. Okay, now what we're going to do is go back to our dispatch board, and we collect our next inbound car card stack, and then we slide the last outbound down to the next inbound, and then the cars that are going out of the yard today that we just picked up from our industries, those will go into the last outbound stack. Then we grab our car cards and we wander back over to the Hidden Valley staging yard behind the scenery, and we figure out which of the interchange trains is going to be running today. And the easiest way is to pick out, is to match the car cards with the train, of course. It's easiest just to pick up a highlighting feature, the golden covered hoppers, the golden loaf ones. The one you see on the car card represents one golden walkway, and so that's the train we know is going to be inbound to the yard to drop those cars off. So we like to see trains run. I know everyone likes to see my trains run, so we'll run the interchange train out of Hidden Valley into Pine Valley, the original 2x4 layout that I started with. Those are 9 3/4-inch radius turns. That's a lifelike CSX GP38. I found 4 of those on eBay for about $50 a piece. Really easy to maintain, simple DC powered locomotives. Through the tunnel, over the bridge, no grandma's house, sorry. Waterfall, rolling into Coal Junction. We got the train going pretty quick because we want these videos not to be all day. Through my hideous mountain layer, which I still have to figure out how to fix. Around the back side of Middleton, and then we roll into the Pine City industrial area after we have passed Farm, and we approach the yard from the north. The CSX guys use this stop as their lunch break, and they're going to just drop this train on the main line in the yard, and then they're going to motor on around Riverport and go get lunch at McDonald's, while the yard crew sorts their train and gets their outbound train set up for them to come back and pick up. So those cats will skedaddle around the corner, and they did that in light speed to McDonald's, and now the yard crew can go to work. And what we do is we sort these cars by category: box cars and reefers. On the second track, third track is golden loaf covered hoppers for the bakery, and extra box cars and reefers. The third track is plastic pellet covered hoppers and chemical tank cars, and any additional box cars and reefers that won't fit on the first 2 tracks. The back track is gondolas and hoppers for recycled material and coal. I've been fighting a bit of a cold, so you have to bear with me. Today the yard is being serviced by a Cato GP40 because the GP7, the Atlas GP7, was marked out of service with the maintenance card in one of our card draws, so it's still at the shop. So we know that back track can hold 10 cars, and there's already 6 in it. So the first 4 cars of that inbound train, we can just drop that entire set as a block onto track number 2. And this is all filmed with my old iPhone. I think it's a 6 SE. No, maybe it's just called an iPhone SE. I don't know. It's many years old. I'm terrible at making videos, and I apologize for that. I do have finally figured out how to do voiceovers, so you're not listening to my air conditioner, furnace, dehumidifier, and all the other stuff running in the background. For those of you who haven't seen my layout before, it's DC powered only, no DCC, Rapido couplers, truck mounted Rapido couplers. I only have 3 locomotives with body mount couplers, and those all stay in the Riverport yard area, because if anyone knows anything about coupling, no matter what style of couplers, the worst thing you can do is combine body mount couplers with truck mounted couplers. That's the easiest way to get derailments. You either have to go all in one way or the other, and if you're going to go body mount, you need to do it to every car. I have 90 cars in my fleet, so we're sticking with the old stuff. And I have also found that I think the Rapido couplers probably push better because there's such a much wider surface for pushing versus the knuckle couplers, that pushing truck-mounted couplers doesn't seem to be a problem for me. I can even push trains all the way around the little oval in the old part of the layout around the 9 3/4 without having any derailment issues. So maybe I'm just lucky, but I'll take it for what it is. So the train has now sorted all the cars out by their class, as it were. Now he's going to run back and hook up the outbound train, and then he'll set that on the main line, and then his work for the moment is done, actually for the day, because this is his last thing the yard guys do for the day. Although if we had 3 coal hoppers or 3 recycled gondolas, the last thing he would do is put those down on the pier track, because this outbound train is 8 cars, and the outbound track can only hold 10 total. So if the outbound train is 8 or 9 cars, then we have to wait and put those cars on the pier track after we have set up the outbound train on the main line. None going today, so how that works in my operation game, and once we collect 3 full recycled gondolas or 3 full coal hopper cars, they'll go down on that first track closest to the edge. We call that our pier track. And then on the start of the next session, those 3 cars will just get dumped, and then they'll get put back into the cycle as empty. CSX boys are now done with their lunch at Mickey D's, and they back around Riverport. I use a lot of pine trees, and a lot of people I have had sort of kind of hint that my trees are too much the same size. Well, we imagine this area at one time was ravaged by wildfire. It's a touristy type area, so they went through and they replanted a whole bunch of trees, and that's why you'll see the station down by the riverfront and McDonald's and an old time district. That's pretty much like a touristy type town, and we offer the rail fan experience where you can ride a caboose with the freight train, and that's why we use cabooses. CSX uses cabooses simply because I had extra cabooses to use, and my sister loves cabooses. So the outbound train has picked up his cars without further ado, and off he goes. He's going to run the entire outer loop now back to Hidden Valley, where once he gets behind the scenery, we'll shut down this power pack that we're running on the inside of the layout. I have those set up with isolation switches. You'll see that in a moment, where I can disconnect that power pack from the layout and go to the other one and turn its isolation switch on and activate that one, and that way I can have 2 power packs on the same bus, as it were, without them interfering with each other and shorting each other out. Because trying to park a train when you can't see it is a little difficult. There's the other power pack on my workbench. We're going to activate the isolation switch. Looks like I already did. And now that's sitting right there by Hidden Valley, where I can just park the trains with a controller right there. That's all that controller is used for, is for parking these trains and staging, because when they're at their max length of 9 cars, it gets pretty tight quarters to get them into the sidings for clearance. So that's how I operate my trains for Interchange. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.